This week on GamePron News, Call of Duty Elite buckles under the strain after Modern Warfare 3's successful launch. Battlefield 3 stirs controversy among activist groups. Ubisoft confirms that, surprise, there will be another Assassin's Creed game in 2012, while 2K admits that XCOM has potentially slipped into 2013, and LEGO Universe won't make it past January. The demo for Rayman Origins is devilishly difficult, and the developers couldn't be happier. Total Recall is set for a video game comeback, taking an unexpected approach, and the Australian Classification Board hints at a favourite family set to return to our lounge rooms. Hi, I'm Jessica Citizen. The big week of major game releases is over, with both Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 and The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim on shelves around the world. It's still a little early to discuss sales numbers, although we are expecting those in the coming weeks, but at this stage we can report that Call of Duty at least has sold a little better than some of the people at Activision were expecting. The new FPS has brought with it the new Call of Duty Elite functionality, designed to enhance the gaming experience through 3 pillars: connect, compete, improve. At least, that's the goal. The reality has seen the new servers crumbling under the strain of what is possibly the biggest game of 2011, as millions upon millions of gamers try to sign up and log into their accounts. In the few days since launch, Activision and Team Beachhead have worked around the clock in an attempt to bring more functionality online, including bumping up server capacity by 400%. The launch of the game itself went smoothly, however, with fraggers able to play on PS3, PC and Xbox 360, with the Wii version coming our way in the next month or so. Activision is very aware of the problems gamers are suffering, and there is already talk of some kind of compensation for their troubles. In other FPS news, a political activism group has taken offence at content within Battlefield 3. No, it's not a human rights group or anybody objecting to the high body count or cost of war within the game. Instead, it's PETA, People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, who have raised concerns over one scene in the third act which sees the player character stab a rat. Electronic Arts has made no comment on the issue. One thing that EA did comment on this week, though, was a comment made by company president Frank Gibbo. As part of his keynote speech at the University of Southern California, Gibbo said, simply, there is going to be a Battlefield 4. Once that news got out, which didn't take long thanks to a twittering student in the audience, the world went crazy. Rather than a retraction, EA offered a clarification, claiming that Gibbo was speaking broadly about the Battlefield brand, something that EA is deeply passionate about. That means there will be another Battlefield title, but it may not be a sequel to last month's Battlefield 3. Instead, it could be another Bad Company, another Heroes, or perhaps Battlefield 1944. Speaking of sequels that everybody knew was coming, Activision Blizzard has hinted at another new Call of Duty at around this time next year, surprising nobody and pleasing shareholders. Ubisoft has also confirmed that yes, there will be a new Assassin's Creed title released in 2012 as well, as this year's Revelations release will tie up the lives of Ezio and Altair. All eyes are on Desmond for next year's adventures. No word yet on platforms or release dates. We also heard a little more about XCOM in an investor call from Take-Two Interactive. Short version, it's been delayed, potentially into 2013. Officially, it has missed the planned March 2012 release date and is now penciled in for the company's fiscal year 2013, which means sometime between April 1 next year and March 31st the year after. Fingers crossed it's a brief delay, but following rumours of mass layoffs at 2K's Australian development studios, things are sounding a little rocky. Not as rocky as they are for LEGO Group, however, which has made the painful decision to close kids' MMO LEGO Universe in January. The move sees nearly 2 million gamers without a virtual home and more than 100 employees in both the US and Denmark losing their real-world jobs. The game had apparently always received very positive feedback from fans, but this did not translate into paying customers. Even the introduction of a free-to-play area in June wasn't enough to convince people to stick around. For For those concerned about the number of MMOs making the free-to-play leap after hearing news like this, rest a little easier with the latest update from DC Universe Online, which went free-to-play just over a week ago. In that time period, the developers at Sony Online Entertainment have recorded a massive player base growth of more than 1,000%. Even though the change has led to massive server queues, ridiculously long loading screens, and an assortment of other annoying problems, the team is still a little bit chuffed. Another team that's particularly pleased with itself is Ubisoft Montpellier, who are putting the finishing touches on Rayman Origins. A playable demo for the game was released this week on both PS3 and Xbox 360, and it's already stirring up reactions among gamers. To put it simply, it's really hard. And that's the intention. The demo was released alongside a video titled 10 Ways to Die, and trust me, you'll be doing that plenty. The developers decided that it was time to go back to their roots. The first ever Rayman was incredibly difficult, while modern games have been getting easier and easier. This new release, however, has been designed to be challenging, but at the same time easily accessible for beginners. Most levels have multiple paths, so once you've figured out how to survive, you can concentrate on snagging more points on your next playthrough. Now, not really sure about what to say for this next bit, so I'll give it to you straight. Total Recall is headed back to the big screen next year, with Colin Farrell playing the role Schwarzenegger made famous. That's one thing. Another thing is that Sony Pictures has just signed a deal with Chinese developer ZQ Game to create a video game tie-in expected to release around the same time. The game will be an MMO. It will be free to play, and it will be browser-based. I'll just leave that there and await further details. Finally this week, the Australian Classification Board has accidentally revealed a new game in the works at Konami. By new, we actually mean rather old. The Simpsons arcade game first graced our screens back in 1991 and was the first video game to star the Four-Fingered Family. Now, while we haven't heard any details about the game besides the fact that Konami is publishing and Backbone Entertainment handling developing duties, we're more than a little excited by the possibilities. It would suit PlayStation Network or Xbox Live Arcade as a downloadable title, and the classification report hints at some online content which opens the door for some interesting opportunities for co-op multiplayer. With the average gamer now aged in their early 30s, many fans of the series have fond memories of the game, whether it was on Commodore 64, a DOS box at home, or a coin-op in the arcade. It's about time we got the opportunity to smack baddies with a vacuum cleaner once again. Till next week, I'm Jessica Citizen, and this is GamePron News.